Hello everyone, it's Jessie, an artist living in Japan. In the previous video, we participated in the Vixella challenge, where we made this into this. It's a house building challenge in The Sims. There are a few rules, so if you're interested in that, the link will be somewhere on your screen, maybe over there, and in the description down below. Here are the general descriptions for the house. It's a 3LDK, and it does include a lot of room for at least 2 adults and 2 children, which one of the children can be a child or a baby, a toddler. I also made this floor plan for the first floor and the second floor. It's a little bit different from what I did before. I did use some screenshots that I took within the game so that it is more realistic to the sizes. And there it is, all finished. Now, as for the actual drawing, I had a really difficult time with the perspectives because I didn't want to do another isometric drawing for the time being. If you don't know what an isometric drawing is, it's basically a type of grid, and you just make sure that you stay within that type of angle and dimensions. But I didn't want to do that this time. I wanted to do something a little bit more dynamic. So the farther you are away from the drawing, the smaller it is. And the closer you are to it, it expands more. And so I went to Yoshida Seiji's drawings because he does this a lot. Here I am attempting to make my own grid. Of course, it's not perfect, but it does help out in this drawing. So if you are trying to attempt any sort of house or room type of drawing with a grid that isn't an isometric type of grid, maybe try something like this. Maybe draw your own grid at first. What I did was basically just study a bunch of Yoshida Seiji's drawings. I just drew lines on top of it because I wanted to understand how do you get these dimensions, and at the end of the day, I think some of them are just random. I could be wrong. If I am, let me know down in the comments below and be like, Jessie, you are totally wrong. There's a total method to this. You just don't know it, and maybe I don't. But in any case, I went with this one. It looked pretty good. I did the color testing, which is what you just saw a couple of seconds ago. And now I am doing the line art, which I'm actually very happy with. I'm being more consistent in the brushes that I use for my line art, meaning that I am using these same brushes again and again for the line art. So when you see it, you know that I did this artwork. I think that might translate into what style a person has, and it definitely is in a lot of ways. But for now, I like these brushes. It's a little bit thicker. I can make it much thicker, but generally I don't go too thick on the line art. And I am changing the opacities in varying ways for different stuff. If I want it to be softer, I lower the opacity and then I put a layer on top with the preset of overlay and then use kind of this pinkish overtone to color the line so that they're a little bit more softer and warm like a sunset. But for this one, I made it a very solid color because this is a house. I wanted it to be a little bit harder. And for the colors, I tended to use a lot of warm colors. So you're gonna see grays, you're going to see beige, a little bit of orange, and definitely a lot of brown and kind of like a reddish brown, and not maroon per se, but brown that kind of has a slight red overtone so that everything matches. Now, the game actually is quite dark, and there is lighting within the game. Then after that, you take a screenshot, right? And you say, okay, I'm gonna draw a house based on my screenshot. And then I'm going to pull some of the colors from this picture that I just took. Well, it may not always work because the colors that are in that screenshot may work well with each other, but once you start pulling them out separately, individually, you're going to see that it's not saturated enough. Maybe it's too bright, so you change that on your own. I definitely did that with this drawing here. Now, I did have a hard time drawing in the leaves for these two pot plants. I think I might revisit that later, or again, just something to practice. But overall, I think it came out really well. The colors really match well with each other. Even in the game, I like how it looks. Although, I do like how this looks slightly different. Like the succulent plants, pots, things here that I added under the stairs. That's not in the game. You can put succulents or that sort of thing outside of your house, but not inside your house. But we are almost done with this drawing for today, and I really hope you like it. I liked it. I'm gonna do more. And if you want to see more, well, you are going to see more. So welcome to New Living, that is what this house is called, where your characters can live in a cozy space with maximized natural lighting and multiple family shared areas such as the living room, the kitchen, the upstairs open library, and a minimalist modern backyard. Again, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Ciao!